Terribly. It's going terribly, Ben. Thank you for asking.
Let me ask you this way, because you've got a new space there. You've got, it looks like you're set up in your basement. You've got your writing space. Is your inventory management and everything in the basement there? No, you're spread out.
Everything is here.
Oh, everything is there. So
Everything is
how are
here.
you managing? You've gone direct maybe the last 6 months. You're dealing with all these new problems of being an indie author, ordering books, supply, keeping things stocked. How is that going?
Terribly. It's going terribly, Ben. Thank you for asking. And here's the thing about it that makes me so mad. I think of myself as someone who understands things like supply chain, understands like inventory. I used to work at Blockbuster, where once a month I would do a full inventory of every DVD and VHS on the shelf at Blockbuster. And I understand the importance of doing that. And I, for some reason, cannot figure out how to manage my own inventory. I am so mad about it. So let's go on a journey. So yeah, a few months ago, I started really diving into direct sales, and it's been going great, which has been good. But the reason that the one thing about it that's terrible is that I have to figure out inventory. And for some reason, I cannot figure out how to have enough books on my shelf here to send out for people who buy those books. I don't know why. And part of it is like it's expensive to load up on inventory, right? Like books are, $4, $5, $6 per book for us, and they come in here, and then if you're gonna buy, if you're gonna buy 20 books, that's like $100. And so
then when you get into a series, it's 20 books times.
And you got to order exactly.
Yeah.
So that's part of it. So part of it is me being pretty cheap and thinking like, I don't want to spend $1,000 right now. What can I do? But I'm constantly running out of books. And so people are ordering things, and I'm like, oh no, I have to order more books right now. And I'm currently using Amazon. I don't want to keep using Amazon. They've got this kind of golden handcuff thing where they are the cheapest ones I've found so far. I have been using them. When you order a bunch of books, author copies on Amazon, it takes 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get here.
Well, that's part of the problem with it is, yes, sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3, sometimes it's 1, sometimes it's 4.
And they tell you
don't know.
Here's the range. It's like, this is like 19 days. This is a crazy range.
Yeah.
So you have to really plan ahead and really lay out that money.
And I'll tell you, I was getting to a point when you start ordering in bigger volume, the damaged books that arrive, we were getting to a point where it was like 10 to 25% of everything that was sent to us was unusable.
Oh, wow.
It was really bad. It was really, really bad. Like they just didn't pack them well. So they'd tumble in shipment.
Wow.
The covers came creased. They were cut bad. They were like, there was a lot of issues we faced. And so just as you scale up, it gets even worse because they'll refund you, which is nice, but you have to take a picture of every book. You have to take a picture of every serial number. So it became time consuming to do it that way too.
Yeah. So we got that going for us. And then like in the middle of that, so in my inventory woes in particular, where I'm just bad at keeping records, like data entry. A lot of inventory is data entry, and I'm just bad at it. I have to get better at it. It's my fault 100%, but I'm using Shopify for my website, and you can very easily enter into Shopify. Here's how many books I have. And so if you're paying attention, it will alert you when you're getting low. If you don't pay attention, you'll just run out of books. And that's part of my problem. But then also there was this scenario a few weeks ago. This is my big rant. So this is where I share blame with the U.S. Postal Service. And so several weeks ago, like earlier, like a full month ago now, I was trying to fill some orders for the entire Apocalypticon series. And I realized I was out of Slaughterhouse Run, the 4th book in the series. And I thought, this is not right. Like, I have another box of this somewhere. And I in my head, I can distinctly see this extra box of books. I couldn't find it anywhere. I was like, where are these books? And then I check my Shopify inventory and it agrees with me that there are 25 more books somewhere. So I have entered into Shopify that I have 25 more books. In my head, I can see a box full of 25 more books. But I'm here to tell you, those 25 books did not exist. They were nowhere. And so I don't know what my personal mental breakdown was, where I entered these imaginary books and then cemented the picture of these imaginary books in a box in my brain. But suddenly I was like, oh no, I have these orders coming in and I'm out of books. So of course I go onto Amazon and I order more author copies. I order a big bunch of them and they ship out. And so I email all the people who bought and said, I'm so sorry. Like it's going to be maybe a couple weeks before you get this. Here's why, here's a discount coupon for some other books to make up for it. I'm so sorry. And I want to be very clear. The readers here have been wonderful. I've only gotten a couple of kind of angry emails over this, which is really great.
Yeah. I think it's a good thing to mention is that as long as you're upfront with because you're going to face issues, something's going to happen. And as long as you're quick to say, here's the situation, we're doing everything we can to make it better. Very sorry. I've most people are just very, it's not your fault. It's, totally understand. We can't control that. Can't wait for the books. So, yeah.
So that's been very helpful in this scenario. So I order the books, they're on their way. Now I also happen to be at this point in my life buying a house and moving to a new house. And so I'm waiting for the books to come. I'm very anxious about the fact they're not here and the orders are stacking up. And then we're moving, so I have to forward my mail. And so I go to the USPS and I say, I'm forwarding my mail. Starting now, it's going to go to this new address starting, I guess, tomorrow. The next day, that tomorrow, where they started forwarding the mail, that is the day that Amazon said, hey, your books are out for delivery, U.S. Postal Service. And I was pretty excited. I was like, great, this is perfect. And then I'm following the tracking. They're on the truck. They are out for delivery. And then someone flags them and says, oh, address change came through yesterday. Let's send these to the new address. And so they pulled them off the truck to go to the new address. And so I'm like, God, fuck. Like that's on me. I should have waited till they were here before doing the mail change, I guess. But then, so this is the point where it transfers over to USPS for a little while. They sent them all the way back to Richmond, which is 90 minutes away. And they're in Richmond for 3 days. And then they say, we've sent them out, from the sorting facility in Richmond. And there are no further updates for the next week and a half. So now these books, people have been waiting for their orders for 3 weeks. I'm like, what is going on? Like these, I could have driven to Richmond today to get them and just brought them home. And they just are lost in the wind. And so I go to USPS.com and I'm talking to these people and they're very nice. I'm opening up these cases. I open up a case and they're like, yeah, someone will be here to take over this case and they'll find your books. They'll reach out in 2 to 3 days. 3 days later, I get an email saying your case has been resolved. Please rate us on how we did. I don't have my books. You didn't resolve my case. They're still missing. And so I gave them very bad ratings. And then I called them again and I explained I don't know what's going on, but I still don't know where my books are. And they said, I'm looking in the system and it says, actually, it's en route to you and it'll be there. And I said, that's what it has said for 2 weeks now. It's not happening. And they said, I don't know. It seems like the case is closed. And I said, let's reopen that case. So they did, and they reopened the case. And then I didn't hear from that person. And I'm just losing my mind. These books are gone. I've since gone and ordered more books to make up for them, but they're going to be 2 to 3 weeks or 4 weeks or 5 weeks, whatever the fuck Amazon wants. I'm just losing my mind. So USPS really screwed me on this. However, I will say then a few days ago, I got an email from someone who works with the Postal Service. And he said, and it's a message that came through my website. So someone went to my website, found my contact me information and sent it through there. And it said, hey, I'm in the post office at your town in Stanton, Virginia. We have this box of books. The box is destroyed, but the books are fine. The address is unreadable, but I Googled you and I have your books. And like, holy shit, like thank God for this human. And he took the time to Google the title, Google my name, found my website, sent me a message. It was incredible. So I have a lot of mixed feelings about the Postal Service right now, but this man at my local is an angel. And so he's like, yeah, they're here. Like, can I send them to you tomorrow? And I said, can I come get them today? And he's like, yeah, if you want to. So I drove down right away and I picked them up, and there were 25 books there, and they were in pristine condition. It was unbelievable.
That is astounding. That is like we've done a few of these where we've talked about shipping and customer service and stuff like that. And I think I want to say every time I've gone on to complain about the post office, I do preface it with thousands of times they've gotten it right. Since we've started doing this, selling direct and shipping out, we have sent 5, 6, 7,000 I don't know, like, I mean, thousands and thousands of packages through the mail, and there have been 3 problems, and 2 of them were not necessarily the post office's fault. I think twice the envelopes with the books arrived empty. Like, they delivered the envelope and the books were just missing. Like, what the fuck?
That's cool.
And you want to get mad, but I'm like, really, like, the logistics of all that, I can't even begin to imagine, because like you said, we can't even handle inventory. And here they are shipping things all across the country back and forth. And the fact that someone found, hey, here's a unidentifiable box full of 25 books. This guy's name is on them. I'll go look for his website and let him know. I'm sure it has something to do with this guy, like,
yeah, it was incredible. It was
because really we have some pretty amazing fans, Clayton, but no one yet has ordered 25 copies of one of my books, and I don't think yours either. So it is interesting that I think that it's a tremendous story, but the frustration is endless. The inventory is such a nightmare. It really is. My brain's not wired for this. No one in my family has a brain wired for managing this. And then on top of even books, you're doing them too now. We're doing box sets with stickers, with patches, with things. And it's like, oh, I've got all the books and ammo cans and stickers I need. Crap amount of patches. I didn't order enough stuffed guinea pigs. These are the very strange conversations we have at my house every day. Like, I don't have any yarn. Why don't I have any conspiracy yarn? This is a problem.
But what I've done here in my new setup, which I'm liking so far, is someday I'll show this on the video, but there are shelves. In this basement, there is this like cabinet of like closed door cabinet of shelves where the previous owner kept like paint cans and stuff. I've cleared that all out. I've taken the doors off. So there's just shelves, and I'm putting my books there. And so I can see all the time how many books I have, which I think will help. And actually, case in point, so yesterday I was putting all my books up there, and I thought, well, now I finally got this new shipment of Slaughterhouse Run in. I can fill all these orders. And I looked at them and I said, this is still not enough to fill the orders. So I had to now order even more. Oh, so it's again on me, but I'm developing a system that I'm feeling it's gonna be good, but man, the things you don't think you're gonna have to really dedicate your brain to when you start writing books.
No, I mean, we did this because we're bad at math. That's why I did it. I did it because I can't add. So we've done some pretty hopefully idiot proof kind of ways of managing it. Like, I have a certain amount of books, like, okay, when I get to X number of books, we order more, right? And it's almost like you can almost put a red piece of paper in your stack and go, okay, once I hit that red piece of paper, order more books.
Yeah.
But and that's worked okay. We order there is a certain number, we get down to it, like, okay, it's time to get more. Suppliers, vendors, stuff like that is definitely another headache that we haven't had to deal with until now. Now that we're doing direct, hopefully maybe some advice, like we've talked about. last time I think we talked about this, Book Vault is another option that does print on demand. And last time we talked about them, we had ordered some books from them. We hadn't received them yet, and now we have. So I can happily say they were fantastic. The quality of the book is comparable, if not better than Amazon's.
Nice.
They are really, really good quality books. The cost and the timing is about the same as Amazon.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a little more.
Well, when we talked about
more, it's pennies.
I went on and I set it up Slaughterhouse Run specifically after that conversation because I was like, I need more of this book right now.
Yeah.
And there is a set cost there, okay, right? That is not, but it's like $25 or something, which over the long run will be nothing.
Right.
And you know, it's only $25. But then you had said, I think, and it's probably because of where I live, I think your books were quoted out of shipping within like, they'll be there within like 4 days or something. Mine were like 2 weeks still, which is fine if I'm good at at ordering.
And it depends on the volume. I think we had some that were like, holy cow, we had ordered on, I think it was like July 4th. Like we'd ordered on the holiday and they were there like 4 or 5 days later and we were blown away. The next batch was more in line with about Amazon shipping. Yeah. You know, it was a couple weeks. So yeah, that was a more substantial order. The smaller order got there faster. Maybe that was why. We're not really sure, but I have been very happy with the delivery times and the quality.
That's good to know, especially since, as we've talked about before on this show, is some of the indie bookstores will not take your books if they're printed by Amazon.
Right, so. And this is a nice way around that. This is they are not printed by Amazon; they're printed by Book Vault, and you can order one, which is not an option if you're going through a printer. You know, there are several printers that indie authors work with that are fantastic, but the money doesn't work for you until you're looking at a much bigger quantity. But Book Vault is comparable to Amazon in that you can order smaller quantities and get them in about the same time, and the quality is fantastic. So, but it's still, and you're in the same kind of boat as I am, as you've kind of got one series that, you know, is a little better known, and probably your most popular product is the Apocalypticon stuff. And then you've got, how much do you have? It's the same question as when you go to a con. How much do you have on hand of the other stuff?
Right. And suddenly, like Demon Zero, the first book in the Dark Matter series, is looking a little light. I can see that now because it's on my shelf. But it's like, that's been kind of like a slow drip. So like, shoot, like it's hard to come up with a system for inventory when you can't predict how many books will sell.
Yeah. Yeah. I think once you get a little further into this, you'll see hopefully what the churn is of the more popular series and stuff like that. But we're finding there's always going to be something. Yeah. You know, it's, and like I say, when you start doing stuff like combo deals and novelty packaging and stuff like that, it's just, you're just making it worse for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a huge mistake.
Yeah. But at the same time, like stuff like stickers, we include stickers and patches and things like that. Like that's stuff we can order in bulk. That's just a matter of, we have to go, are we at a point where we want 1,000 on hand, or do we want something? And there's some things we do, like for the ammo cans, I have a sticker that I used to make at the house. When we first started, I used to make them here. It goes on, there's 2 for each can. There's one on each side of the can. Well, we quickly got to the point where like, let's just go ahead and order a great bulk of those to have those ready. It became certainly worth it. It was, you know, the time to print it, the ink, the man hours, all that stuff was not worth it. So, so now we order those by the 1,000 or whatever. And that's
interesting thing too. Like you start off like saying like, it's kind of expensive to have someone else print it. Maybe I'll invest in a Cricut or whatever my sticker printer will be, and then I'll do it myself. And then you get to a point, then later it's like, actually I'm doing so many that it makes so much sense for someone else to do it for me. And I think that's actually great.
Yeah, they're good problems to have. They really are. What's funny though too is like we've got what was it? There's so many different companies online. Like we have a local printer we use for a lot of our stickers, the ones that go on the side of the can and stuff like that. And when we do art prints for shows for the other things we do, we use them. But there's certain stickers, like we have this mushroom cloud. It's even a mushroom cloud has a silver lining. This bomb sticker, it's about this big. It goes on our can. You get one in the can. People order this sticker kind of independently. So that's one we said, okay, let's get that printed in bulk. And so we have our local printer, but there's also stuff like Sticker Mule. And then there's when you start, if you order something through Sticker Mule, you'll start getting offers from about 15 other sticker companies. Like, hey, we'll give you 50 stickers for $20 just to try us out. So that's a great way to kind of save on a lot of stuff like that. But now it's like we've got about 15 different sticker companies. Sticker Duck, Sticker. There was one we got today. I can't remember. It was Ghost Stickers, Sticker Killers. I don't know. Like, it's funny. It is a nice way to kind of save because there's all these promotional offers.
But you're back to the problem of organization where you're like, have a spreadsheet of like, okay,
I don't know what's
this stickers from this one, this one's from this one.
Yeah, some comes with hot sauce. One came with a little rubber duck. I don't even know what's going on anymore. But
the rubber duck thing is like a whole phenomenon now. Like it spans every industry.
Is this beyond the Jeeps? I know it was big with the Jeeps for a while.
Big with Jeeps, big with stickers apparently. There's a local pizza place that we go to where our kids get that. There was, where else? I saw them. They were all over Comic-Con at the Comic-Con
really?
Last weekend. Like there was someone else too. Like these little rubber ducks are someone is cashing in real big on just like bespoke rubber ducks.
That's funny. I need to look into that. There's always an animal of the year. I mean, you usually watch Super Bowl and go, okay, this year it's going to be whatever animal was in the Doritos commercial or whatever.
Right.
I do these twisted spirit animals. I still don't have a capybara. Capybara is definitely the animal of the now. That is a couple years ago. It was the axolotl, and we did an axolotl. It's very popular. So
axolotl with a lot of axes. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, that was the one. I think my wife and I were in a fight at the time. And she lays things out. So the personality of that one was a little axolotl with an awful lot of little axes. That was the one, and that was she was not happy about how many words she had to stack up on that leg.
But it's so good. It's so good.
It's one of my favorite. He's just a mean looking bastard. All these little axes. So, the ducks are funny, but it's inventory is our brains aren't wired that way. I don't think authors' brains generally are for numbers, for tracking things like that. So kudos to you for getting the books, and it looked like the table turned out great. So you had a full set there for people that were interested.
It did.
And even if you're not selling the full set at the con, having the full set there is a great way to get people to buy the first.
And you show that there's a whole thing here. And I will say also, it's a good for anyone watching who's not an author. If you buy from indie authors, have patience with them because we're bad at this.
We're so fine. We're not good at this.
So good at writing, so bad at shipping and stuff. So give us some grace.